welcome to the Comic Book Syndicate. My name is Michelle Siegel, and I am joined today by Jackie Reynolds, Jolie Inthavong, and Jennifer Hillis. I had the fortunate opportunity of being on the Comic Book Syndicate a few episodes ago, and it was very sick, and I am a local actress who loves comic books.
I used to date a guy who owned a comic book shop. I read mostly Vertigo. I'm not really into superhero stuff.
I'm Jolie. I'm usually behind the cameras at the Comic Book Syndicate. I'm the photographer, co-producer. Sometimes I edit. I also love comic books as well. Right now I mostly like Dark Horse titles, namely Buffy. That's about it.
And I am extremely new to the comic book world. I've only been reading comics for like the past year and a half. And it's because a lot of the boys that I work with are big comic book guys and have had a huge influence on me. Are always throwing new names at me, and I'm up to read just about anything. I do appreciate the lesser-known comics more so than the superhero, but I have been introduced to the superhero, and I appreciate them for what they are as well.
Very nice. And you brought Scott Pilgrim to the table.
I did.
So we'll start with Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yay! It's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is Volume 2. It's by Bryan O'Malley, who just happens to be a Canadian from London, Ontario. The book itself is set in Toronto, which is one of the reasons why I loved it, because you actually see like parts of Toronto, and they are exactly like they are in Toronto.
Yeah.
The book itself is about Scott Pilgrim, who is, I want to say, enraptured with a woman, Ramona Flowers. But in order for him to have her heart, he has to defeat her 7 evil boyfriends.
What did you like about that specifically?
The book itself is so well written. It's clever. It's funny. The characters are interesting. They all have substance. They all have something to bring to the table. Like I said, I mean, more than anything, it's funny and well written. And there's like so many elements that I could talk about that I just completely adore about the book. There's one part in particular that Scott's roommate kicks Scott out for the night because he needs the apartment. And Scott's driving away on the bus, and the frames get smaller and smaller as Scott is yelling insults at Wallace. And by the end of it, it's like you can barely read it, but if you like squint your eyes really, really close, you can read it, and it's like, I'm rubber and you are glue.
I noticed that. I noticed like little fine details, and I like that. Like they even have like a whole recipe in there, and it was really, really cute, and I like that. It was the first time I ever read something more prone to kind of a younger audience, and that wasn't actually like superhero-like and X-Men-like or anything like that, or Marvel or just kind of with that sort of grit to it. But I liked it. I found it really interesting, and I found that the minor details I liked. I liked how it was really local. Like, if you live in Canada, I mean, it has special references to Casa Loma and all this other stuff. When I first read it, I wasn't sure if it was going to be kind of trendy or emo-y or whatever, but I enjoyed it. I liked it because it was very natural, and it was very, like, how it is when you're starting out in relationships and you're younger. But it also was really, really witty, and I like that.
Realistic in terms of being relatable, but it's almost like a caricature of manga. It breaks the fourth wall. They reference several times that they're in a book. About a third of the way through, they say, it's 3:30 in the morning. We've been here for a quarter of this book. We should go. You know, that's cute and clever. I read a review that said that it captured the energy of a generation, and that's right on the money. What I thought was funny about the character, though, was that even in Scott's obsession with Ramona, we don't know anything about her, and presumably he doesn't either. It's really all about him and his obsession, and that selfishness, that center of his own universe-ness, that's what captures the energy of a generation.
And I didn't really think about that before, but we actually don't know anything about Ramona other than the fact that she has these 7 evil ex-boyfriends, and that Scott has to kick all of their asses. Like
in order, it's a video game.
Yeah. And that's a thing too, as if it's a video game. And I think that's what it's kind of, for me, it's almost too hip because it's too manga. Like it's when you were saying it doesn't have to go to that action extreme. It's like epic when they fight. There's this huge fight scene at the end right there. Yeah, but I think that's what it is. Like, and I kind of make fun of manga a lot, but I like the farce and like the little manga faces with the tears and how their expressions change like they would in manga. It's hilarious.
I laughed out loud reading it.
But that's enough about Scott Pilgrim, and we're coming back with the Umbrella Academy, so stay tuned.